We're going to talk about using the library app, which is actually the app that the New York Public Library uses, is one that actually lots of libraries across the country use, and it's called SimplyE. How you can get a New York Public Library card and then connect that card to your SimplyE account. And with that, you can check out all books, audiobooks, all sorts of things, books in multiple languages directly from your phone. So you can do it all virtually. You can get your library card virtually. You don't have to go to a library for any of this. And then you can check out ebooks and check out audiobooks. What you'll see here is getting started with SimplyE. And this will give you a link directly to, if you have an Apple, then it will take you to the App Store. And if you have an Android phone, it'll take you to Google Play. So there's a video on here that shows you how to go in there and get a library card through the app itself. How to get a library card through SimplyE. The first thing you want to do is download SimplyE. And this is accessible to anybody who lives and works in New York State. Okay, so you're going to click on one of those links, or you can just go to your Play Store or the App Store and look up this SimplyE. It's just SimplyE. So first you're going to download it. Then what you're going to do, there it is, that's what it looks like. You're going to open it, and there's going to be a menu icon. And you're going to click on that icon. First, you're going to click on that SimplyE collection. Then you'll click on Manage Accounts. And this is where it's going to ask you what library you're trying to connect with. And because we're in New York, it's going to be the New York Public Library. So you're going to go here where it says SimplyE collection, and you're going to hit that plus sign. And what that does is it lets you add your library. So you're going to say the New York Public Library. It's a really long list, but it should actually, if you have the location on your phone turned on, New York Public Library should be one of the first ones to pop up. If you don't, you might have to scroll down for a little while until you get to New York Public Library. And then it'll give you the option to enter your information if you have a library card already. And the library cards actually have to be renewed every 3 years. So if you've had a library card in the past, but it's probably been 3 years, which was my situation, mine was probably lost in the record somewhere, I just went ahead and made a new one, and that was fine. They don't mind that you do that. That's where you would enter if you have it. I'll show you how to do that because I can do it with mine to show you in a minute. But if you don't, you're going to come down here and say sign up. And when you do that, it will ask for your device's location just once. They're just trying to verify that you're in New York and that you're accessing the library because you're a New York resident. You can turn the location right off after that. And once it does that, you say, I'm 13 or older, I agree to the terms of use. You fill out real basic information, so just your address, first name, middle name. Make yourself a username and a PIN number. Make sure you remember your username and your PIN number, write it down somewhere, just because you don't want to have to rechange your PIN number and all that stuff every single time. So just make sure you have it somewhere. So once you've done that, you're just going to hit create card, and then you have a library card. And this is a library card that should actually work in person and on the e-app. So you will be in the system, which is great. So this gives you, once you've done that, it doesn't show you this on here, but it'll take you back to the login screen, just ask you to log in, and you'll be ready to go. You can check out ebooks and audiobooks immediately, which I thought was really amazing. The hours of libraries and the policies of libraries and stuff with quarantine has changed. This is a good way to know too that you just have access to books all the time, wherever you have Wi-Fi, even for a moment, because once you've downloaded the books, you won't even need the Wi-Fi. So the SimplyE app looks like this. All right, so we're going to click on that. And what I've done is I actually disconnected my library card from this so that I could show you how to log in. Once my library card's connected, this will just come up and be the catalog. But right now, I'm just showing you the steps. What I want to do is say find my library. And like I said, you see the list of libraries there. Because my location's on, the New York Public Library is one of the first ones to pop up. So it's just that second one on the list. I'm going to click on New York Public Library. So it shows me the New York Public Library, but in order to check anything out, so you'll see this, I'm just going to click on one of these books. I'm going to say get. All right. So this is where it asked me for my library card. So if I'm trying to check anything out, it wants that barcode and that PIN number. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that and see if I can get it right on the first try. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And you see here, too, this is a way to get to create card too. So if you don't have a library card, this is another way to get to that place where you would apply for one. This book that I just clicked on, it just downloaded. It says you have this book on loan for 20 days. So this is like the library. So you don't have this book forever. It will come off of your device after 20 days. Some of them are 2 weeks. I've had a book that was 2 weeks. Most of them seem to be 20 days though. But if you don't read it within 20 days, just like at the library, you can renew it if there's not holds on it. One thing to keep in mind is that, like the library too, they don't have unlimited digital copies, which is kind of funny. You sort of think, why wouldn't it just be like anybody can access it? But I think what it is that they pay for the digital copies. So they might have 100 digital copies of a book. And if they're all checked out, you might see something that is a hold. And this is just the most popular books on this front page. You see there's cooking, there's beach reads, there's sports novels, read it before you watch it. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find books in Spanish, you'll find books in Chinese, and you can scroll through here. And again, these are just the most popular ones. So let me just show you what it looks like if there's a hold on one. This one says reserve. So it says all copies of this book are currently on loan. So what you would need to do is click reserve. And it means you can't get it instantly, but it'll tell you when it's available. This one says you'll be able to borrow this book in 96 days. Some books are like that. Some books are so popular, like at the library, you have to wait a long time for them. It's kind of a pain, but it functions the same way the library does. So if within that time you decide, actually, I don't really want to read this anymore, I don't want to wait the 96 days, you can hit that cancel reservation. But otherwise, it'll just be in the system. And if you go down to this place that says hold, that looks like a little clock, it'll be in there. And it'll tell you when the hold is up and you have access to the book. The one thing that I found is just about, there's really popular books that are really new, books that are bestseller, like recent bestsellers. A lot of those will have holds on them, like at a regular public library. But just about anything that's not super new, I have not had much problem getting access to it immediately. So just keep that in mind. So the two things, at least the two things that I found so far on here that you can get digitally are books and audiobooks. So let me show you the audiobooks part of it, which is actually really cool. I haven't really gotten into audiobooks, but I think that possibly I could, because it's cool. It's a cool idea to be able to have somebody read to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this audiobooks tab. You see up here where it says ebooks, we're going to click instead on audiobooks. So they're two separate categories, so you can click on one or the other and look it up. Here at the top where it says the New York Public Library and WNYC Book Club, those ones I think are almost always available because they have unlimited licenses for it. So if you want one of these two books at the top, generally speaking, those will be available in audiobook or ebook. Okay, so we're on audiobooks here. The way we know this is an audiobook is it has that little icon on the bottom right hand side with the little headphones. So just think you're listening to it, so it's got headphones on it. All right, so we have this book on loan for 20 days. So in this case, we're going to hit listen. And once you go on there, you have the audiobook. So you can go ahead and hit play. And then to navigate, you're going to go up to these where there are these 4 bars up in the side, your little control panel. You can skip forward to whatever track you're on. So the tracks are like chapters. You can take note of where you stop. And once you've done that, you can go back and start again where you were. I think it actually, when you stop and reopen and open it again, it'll be where it was before. So that's really cool. You can get a full audiobook. You can just listen to audiobooks while you're doing whatever. There's also 2 other things on here, which I think are interesting. You can set a night timer on this. So if you like to listen to audiobooks to go to sleep, you can make it so it goes off in 15 minutes or something like that. This is really funny. You can listen to it at a faster or slower speed. Also, you can slow down the pace of the reading, which can be really helpful if you're trying to learn a language, or if you want to listen to something quickly and find something in particular in it. So that's good too. Another thing to remember too is that this gives you a pass to the regular branch libraries as well, which, as you know, are full of all sorts of information. And because the COVID restrictions are not quite what they once were, I really do encourage you to use that as well to whatever extent you'd like to, because of all the in-person resources that you can also get there. Renting DVDs and CDs. If you have children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews and you want to check out children's books, they don't work great on the phone, but they work wonderfully on a tablet.